Woodley on the beat.
Okay, welcome back to another episode of the MillionDollarConvos podcast. I'm your host Kamari. We have Jason and we have Mir, and we have a special guest we're not already introduced. So Jason, say what's up to the people. Mir, say what's up.
Wagwan.
Hey guys, hope you're hearing me. Having some mic issues.
So with the COVID, we have to do our interviews via Zoom, but that can't stop us. And we're going to continue to do quality content and keep our name up there, and just give you guys something to listen to. So today we have a man who is first and foremost a Christian, a musician, and also a husband. He's the founder and managing director of Mocha Limited, Brian Findlay. Brian, introduce yourself, please.
Hi. Everything that Kamari just said is true. Yeah, I'm Brian Findlay. I'm the managing director and founder of Mocha Limited. I got married earlier this year to the love of my life, Marshall.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, sir.
Well done.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. And there was something. Yeah, so I play music at church. I'm heavily involved in our association. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Well, it's good to know that one thing you're grounded, because a lot of people in today's society, why their business is even failing, is that they lack direction. Yeah. And knowing where you're going definitely help that keep you grounded, especially knowing that you have your main support at home. You have Christ to follow. So it should be very hard to fail. Huh?
Yeah, should be very hard to fail. I like that.
So what they say, direction is greater than speed,
Yeah,
that's right.
So we're jumping straight into it, guys. Brian, what is it that sparked the love for web development?
I'm gonna be honest, it's not so much the web development or the tools, it's the fact that I love solving problems. So in programming, basically, and I might sound rehearsed, but trust me, I answer this question a lot. So you have to see that some of this is kind of preempted. But I mean, web developments, programming, all of those stuff, they're basically solving problems. Those problems usually come from the customers, the end users, civilians, just citizens, whatever they are, people who will use your end product. They are all experiencing a problem. And I love solving problems because I guess I was just grown that way to always seek solution to problems. And because of that love to solve problems, I actually initially I wanted to be a pilot, but after a while, it's I actually still have intention of being a frequent flyer, like studying to be a pilot, but not as a profession because I think I've really found my calling in life. But I mean, I used to between the love of flying and solving problems, I found that I was very good at both, but I excelled more with solving problems. And my parents actually, they said to me, why don't you take up something that's marketable? Which was eventually computer science. I was really good at IT. So I did computer science in sixth form. I went to university and did it. And then now I form a business around it. But I mean, all along it's just been problem solving. I'm not the perfect programmer, but I do know how to solve problems. So even just finding the perfect way to solve a problem, I'm pretty good at. So, that's just how I got into it and I see the opportunity to impact. So there we go.
I love that you mentioned problem solving because
That's a gem. That's a gem. A lot of people don't understand the whole point of business is if that people have a problem, you provide the solution.
Yeah.
You have to be a problem solver. That is the whole point of having business. Because think about it like this. In life, when somebody hires you to flip a switch, the act of flipping that switch is worth $1. But knowing which switch to flip is what value the next 10 million for the invoice. Because that is a year of training that required that effort you put out for you can know which switch does what, for then can make repair. Because the actual activity is not what you're paying for, it's the expertise.
The expertise.
So Brian, you think you have a favorite problem? As in out of all the challenges so far in terms of building a code or just compiling something or even in business overall,
Mhm.
do you have your favorite challenge?
I have a couple actually, but my first one really is a problem that people say can't be solved. That's
One of
an
the best
opportunity
ones.
to
Those are the
just
best.
Sounds
upset
like why?
things, to innovate, to break away from what was there before. Um, the Israelis have a term to use, chutzpah. It's actually CHUTZPAH. I think that's how it's spelled.
Is it a
Uh,
Jewish word?
I think so. I hear
Yeah.
them use it
But
a
I think
lot.
I've heard it before, chutzpah, but I just
Oh
don't know
yeah,
where
yeah,
it's
yeah.
from.
You want to tell somebody that you think they're really a maverick, they're out there, tell them they have chutzpah. That's basically what it means. Not settling for the status quo, and those are the kind of problems that I like to solve, where people are like, "Oh no, this is how it's been done before. It can't be solved. So how are you going to change it?" And I mean, genuinely, there are some problems that policy, laws, whatever, just prevent you from fixing, but the ones that aren't prevented
Or
by law,
the ones that might be out of fear.
yeah,
Fear
yeah,
of having to, okay, we have to go the long way around, or we have to actually
right,
go our own way to
yeah,
actually get to the destination. Those are your favorite.
absolutely. Those ones, I enjoy those because at the end of it, I mean, people will look at it and say, "Oh, you did it. How did you do it?" and so on and so forth. But there's something that actually leads to my second problem that I like to solve is it teaches you that fear is sometimes just an illusion of the mind. And fear, I mean, in terms of business, just starting, it took me more years than it should have to start my business. It took me more years to be where I should be because of fear of failure, fear of what people will say when you fail, fear of what will happen if you invest so much money and time and nothing comes out of it. But I mean, that's
True.
where it really kicks in, where you say to yourself, all right, I know I'm afraid of these things, and I identify that as a problem, and I say, how do I solve it? Of course, I might be able to go into that a little later, but yeah, that's my second favorite problem to solve. And
But not to cut you, but one thing to another point in terms of failure, I think we should actually want to fail. Not try to
mhm,
fail, but want to fail. In terms of, because sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. I think the way how the school system is set up, we are taught that failure is the end. When you get a problem wrong, is that you're put down for it, and failure actually builds you up. Failure builds experience. It teaches. It does a lot for you. And I don't think I could be where I am without failing, or you would be where you are without failing, because
Feel like I agree, I disagree with you. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you. I feel like I agree with you and I
I don't
disagree
know if
with
it's
you.
how I'm saying it.
Yeah, like I agree with you in the essence that you should want to fail for the essence of
Don't
like,
intentionally
oh, you
fail,
see the program. No, you see the program. You see the program and you say, "All right, this is how that worked and this is where I went wrong. So now I know
yeah,
how to do it better." Yes. But also I think the way I would say it, which is where I would say I would agree to disagree, is where I would say you should be okay with failing. I
Oh,
wouldn't say you
yeah,
want.
yeah. That's right.
I
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
you
Embrace
should be
embrace
okay.
failure.
Yeah.
No,
You should be
Uh,
okay with that. That should be a learning experience. Not saying you want to, because you say when certain people hear that they might go too far with it.
true, true,
So
true. Some earphone HSJ
as
say you're supposed to fail, so I mean that, man.
as Steve Harvey once said, you're supposed to fail forward. So I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people think that failure is a bad thing, but really and truly, like failure is,
I
I would
consider that a
say,
part of the journey.
yeah, it's
Don't
a
be don't be
building block.
afraid of it.
Exactly. Embrace it, and don't be ashamed. Or even if you fail and people talk down to you, or you get me, fail
Yeah.
forward, keep moving. Understand?
Because
Learn and move on.
the same, I'm pretty sure the same issue that you're having, where you say it took too long to start your businesses. A lot of our listeners might even be facing, anybody out there might be facing that issue, and you're like, but this, but X, but
yeah,
Y, and it's like it cripples you really, and it keeps you down, and we don't really want that, because if they had the insight before to say, if you had the insight before, I know that if you could see where you are now back then,
yeah.
Yeah.
you'd have started the very second. So it's
And
like,
speaking of trying so many things, we know that Mocha Coders wasn't your first venture, right? What
Okay.
led you to the creation of it?
Um, Well, I actually touched on it a little earlier when I was saying we
Mhm.
saw an opportunity in the market. But let me tell you a little about my first one. That was where failure really taught me the importance of having the right attitude, having the right character. You know, emotion.
Yeah. So that taught
Character.
me game pretty much.
Yeah. So my first one, you guys remember when they had the plastic ban? Like I was what 2019 or it was before
Pretty
20.
fairly recent, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fairly recent. I would say 2018, late 2018.
Yeah, it was late 2018 because I had already started building my company then. I had a company, EcoMode JA Limited,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys know about EcoMode when you drive in terms of the car, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
company
yeah, yeah.
car. So I really like cars, and I thought EcoMode, that's a cool name to say Jamaica is going green. Let's help, sort of thing. Let's help drive you get there. You know, we're all in this together, sort of thing. It was just a whole marketing thing because I enjoyed that, but well, it wasn't my passion. Business has
No.
to have some level of passion in it. And I think because I'm such a passionate person about entrepreneurship, I thought that meant any business I want to take on, I can take on and do well with it. My margins were literally non-existent while I was doing that. I was working extra hard. I mean, I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm still up at 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes, but this time I know what I'm doing. But
The
I'm
struggle that you choose.
at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm messaging China, having conversations with a number of companies trying to get shipments to come in, spending a bag of money. I mean, a lot of money trying to get things done that really it just wasn't my passion. And I mean, after having a conversation with two entrepreneurs, one who has been doing it for about 30 to 40 years, and another one who is, she's doing it for about 8 years, very successful. I mean, you can't compare the two of them because, given time, one would have been a little more successful than the other. But
Yeah.
they know what they're saying, and they told me what they hear me saying when I talk about that company is it's not my passion. So I went into something that was my passion, and I saw an opportunity in the market where people didn't feel comfortable doing business with developers locally for several reasons. I looked at all those reasons and I asked myself, what can I do to
Mhm.
change? And as I had mentioned, some of the things I did was to be a little bit more transparent. People need to
Yeah.
know how they're spending their money when it comes to developing a tech product. People need to keep things in budget because, yeah, things are costly, but people don't like spending too much. Customers shouldn't have to spend.
Yes.
Especially when you give them a price from before. And then
I
it's like,
have
Right.
trouble with that just the same. You see, like how you highlighted that, because the intellectual property market in Jamaica is very difficult, especially when you're talking about graphic design and stuff like that. Explaining to someone that they need to pay X amount for you to sit in front of a screen is very hard in
Oh,
Jamaica because they really think that it's just you drag and drop and you click, or let's say you find the line of
you watch the
code in a
movies.
book that you just take this piece out, put this piece in, and that's it. And they don't understand how many hours of sweat, tears, nights you don't sleep. They don't
yeah,
know that.
yeah.
I see it on a movie where it's like, okay, I'm in. That's all. That's
Right?
all.
Yeah,
That's
like
all
you have
coding is.
which is
Yeah, that's
why
what
we made it such a mainstay to talk about passion, because you have to be passionate. You can't not want to do it.
That
It's
four
very it's too heavy.
because when you compare the 4 AMs with your previous venture versus the 4 AMs with this venture, it's a two different 4 AM that because
Exactly, two different words,
yeah,
because one have the passion. You see, it's not the business was the problem. It was the passion. If it
right.
is you passion about it, then you say it got that, and it's a part of you. It must win, because
Yeah,
when it wins, you win.
exactly. Exactly. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, just passion, just thinking about it alone. I mean, in life, sometimes you find yourself dragging through something, and then you ask yourself, why am I dragging through it? Why am I dragging through this workout? Or even some people, in some cases, this relationship is because the passion isn't there, And I, I, I I mean, it's something that I learned, and I have to thank my wife for that. She wasn't my wife at the time, but she always said, "Why would you torture yourself doing something you don't like to do, even if you're getting paid a lot?" The worst part is I wasn't getting paid with the previous company.
Yeah.
I was like,
so
it
straight
was a
torture.
So that conversation was a losing debate. That was a
yeah,
losing debate.
yeah. There was no talk, no talk. She won that one.
You won that one outright.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, the passion is definitely there, and even though there are a lot of problems that need to be solved, we're still learning, we're still growing. I find that even some of the things that we commit to doing, we fall short on. I know like projects we might say it cost X amount, and then we'll run into some problems based on what the user wants or the end goal of the project. I will realize, oh, we made a mistake here. And I mean that's what being transparent is in business, being able to
Mhm.
tell your customers you have integrity, yeah, you know all of that, but I need you to know that the business proposition that we gave you initially was either wrong because of X, Y, and Z, or we made a mistake and we're willing to fix it, whatever the cost is, and sometimes the
Yeah.
cost is on them, but other times you know how to say, well,
Yeah.
to be honest, it's on us this time, it's on us. And you keep a good customer, you keep somebody who says, they made a mistake, they may make mistakes, but I like working with them. And that's what we want in Jamaica. That's definitely what I picture Jamaica and business
Integrity.
team. Not just integrity, but people who live out here want to work with people out here.
Yeah.
That's
That's what
how
it
it
is. We
works.
need to push the Jamaica brand. Jamaicans for years, too many years, I've heard Jamaicans not wanting to buy or support Jamaican because
Exactly.
it's just not something that was attractive. And speaking of how above and beyond you go for your company, how many hours of the day would you say you spend working on your business? Like how much of your time is consumed by just like making sure all the loose ends are tight?
So you know that there are 24 hours in a day. I spend about 8 hours working on my business because I have other obligations, to because I'm not actually full time in the business as yet. I have a 9 to 5, so I spend a lot of time doing work there. But the hours are not as bad as my previous job, so it's much easier to get stuff done with the 8 hour window. So maybe 8 hours a day I'm putting into the business right now. Sometimes more, sometimes less.
You know, structure is really good, you know. It's best to have structure because you don't want to just be throwing hours wild because sometimes it can take too much.
Yeah. And now I have a team behind me working at Mocha, interns, that kind of stuff. So my thing now is really delegating tasks and putting focus on customers who, forgive me if it sounds that way, but deserve our focus.
Yeah.
Focus on the target market, focusing on people who I know are willing to do business with us and not give us a
Mhm.
run around.
Not
Yeah.
not everybody that contacts you is a client.
It's
Yeah.
key to know your worth, you know. And speaking of client, how would like for the young developers and like the young programmers and computer science students out there, how would they go about getting their first client? Like how you do that?
I'm going to be honest. It's not going to be easy. I don't want to discourage them. It's just another problem to be solved. I can give you a little framework to solve it. Um, so I'm big on networking
Mm.
and big on having something to bring to the table. When I say bring something to the table, I mean have like a,
Providing value.
what's that?
Providing value.
Yeah. Oh wait. I mean like providing value is one thing, but showing people how you can do it. Meaning you have a portfolio. I've done this before. I've done that before. Make sure you
Okay,
have
so like so
work.
repertoire and your experience.
Yeah, perfect. So that's the best way to put it. So let's say you have that, and you have great websites, great applications, great ideas sitting on it, and you want people to start using it. I would say the best thing to do when you know you can prove the concept that it will work and do what you say it should do is start networking. Ask people who, and it has to be like um how do I put this? Like people who want to see you
Yeah.
succeed.
You can't
Ask
just
Well,
put yourself
I
out
was thinking,
there.
would it be smart to say, like, let's say you're in the town somewhere, you see a new business, you walk in and say, hey, do you guys have a website? Would you like me to do your website? You know, stuff like that.
Putting yourself out there.
Yeah, it can definitely work. But if I'm going to be honest, that's never worked for me. That's never worked for me. Let me tell you why. It's when people start business in Jamaica, there's two categories that fall in. Either they have somebody who's going to do it because this person was sitting down watching them the whole time and they're ready to
Yeah.
jump on that opportunity,
Yeah.
or they're just not able to afford it. So even if they do say, yeah, we're interested, they say, yeah, we're interested, or no, we're not interested. At the end of the timeline you put into trying to get that person as a customer, you will be disappointed. Now, that's not 100% of the experiences. It just happens to be my experience. I don't want my experience to stop anybody, but I do know that there are some things that you can definitely do. For example, putting your work on social media.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we actually got
With
our
social
recognition with social media. So you actually did something, yeah, you guys do content for your channel, you do graphics and so on, you put that stuff on Instagram, you reach more people than if you just kept it to yourself. And then
yeah.
asking people to like do word of mouth. My first clients, actually came via word of mouth. I had an initial product that I was trying to sell. I showed it to a person and they were like, this is good. It's for event management and stuff, right? And she was like, what can it do? And so on. She took my information because she's like, we don't need it at this point, but COVID was just about to happen, by the way. And
Mm.
then she said, listen, I have a friend who she wants a website for her company. She's willing to talk to you and get started. That's how it happened. After that, jobs kept coming in after and after, and I keep referring them to previous work. So yeah, but Instagram for sure and networking. Have a network of people who want to see you develop and grow. Just do it. I mean, even when was it? The other day, my sister was going to go on the road, and she's a part of us, right? And she just wore the shirt. She said, what if in case people ask, what should I tell them you guys do, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
So yeah, have people who want to see you develop, be your marketers, be your salespeople.
So a good support system is one.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a good support system.
Definitely want to have that. Matter of fact, we were talking about some of the downsides. What would you say is your most satisfying moment, or would have been your most satisfying moment throughout your history of Mocha Coders?
I'm actually never thought of that. Literally so many. I mean, it's like each moment keeps
Top in
trumpeting the next.
itself.
Yeah,
That's one thing about a passion, that like it never like it
There's
keeps
no
topping
high.
itself.
yeah, yeah. There's no high. There's no high.
You don't
There's
you
no
don't go.
peak. It just keeps getting better. It's just whenever you stop.
Right, right, right. Definitely. I have a number of years on before I get to stop. So I mean, I'm just looking forward to when it really takes off. But right now, every client that I win, every conversation that I have, every time I get to express the passion and the vision of Mocha and what we can do for our companies, is like it just gets better and better. So there's no one definable moment that I can use to describe it. Each of them.
I'm sure we can all share those sentiments with all the passions that we have. Because trust me, just having something that that when you do it, even though you get paid for it, it just makes you happy.
Yeah.
It's you can't really count that. There's no way to quantify it. You can't really add that. It's just like it's just better.
Yeah.
When you're not just
Better.
chasing the dollars, but it's your heart that's pushing you. All right.
And so being how many things you said you do in a day? 9 to 5, Mocha, family at home, the
Yeah.
Lord. Like, what's a typical day in the life of Brian Findlay? Like, what do you do? Like, what would if there's what you're willing to share, obviously, but
Yeah. Well, I definitely try to stick to a schedule. I study some of the greats, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. Definitely want to meet him one day, but
I was just watching a documentary on Jeff Bezos, to be honest. Just now.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if you guys follow this channel, Alox, but Alox actually changed my
Yes, and
perspective.
Cold Fusion TV on YouTube. They had
Yeah.
just did a documentary on when he went to space and how many people are outraged by his prowess and being a billionaire, and
Yeah.
everybody's upset about his money, and I look at it like these are all wins. Like he's passionate.
Yeah. No, it's so true. It's so true. Really have to ignore the naysayers sometimes. But I mean, yeah. So I like listen to stuff like ALOX and stuff, and they encourage you to have a structure for your day. So my day usually starts off. The first thing I do is pray. Sometimes I'm half asleep, but then
Mm-hmm.
there's a switch that turns on, and I know, okay, it's time to really. get up and finish the prayer or even start praying. So I usually have that as the first thing. Then I meditate. Meditate isn't like the and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's really I hold
I
a
think
position.
everyone has their own way of meditating. Like it's up to you, like how you meditate, but it's important to meditate.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I hope to raise awareness about that as well because I realize a lot of people who are in similar situations to me have a lot of stress and don't know how to deal with it. But this is how I deal with stress. So I meditate. It prepares me for the day. It helps me to clear my mind of anything that the previous day, I didn't get to clear up. And then it allows me to focus on anything that is causing stress, whether it's long term or short term. And, it just helps me manage myself. Then sometimes I get up, sometimes I go straight to devotion, sometimes I have to
Yeah.
get to work, and then whatever it is, I end up doing work, and then it's breakfast at about 8:30. I work from home, so at 8:30, unless I have a meeting, I'm either making breakfast or receiving breakfast. Privileges of being married. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Good days.
And then from here, it's lunch and so on and so forth. The usual 9 to 5 between so I get up really early. Like sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 6, 7.
I think those are the best hours of the day, 4 and 5 a.m.
Yeah,
personally.
yeah, definitely. Well, I don't have kids right
Peaceful.
now, so it's any time of day works for me now. But I mean, when that does happen, yeah, I'm going to definitely get up as early as I can to get as much done. Sometimes I get to do 4 hours before 8:30. Sometimes I get only just one. But the structure is try to keep those activities that are listed before perfectly in line so that the day isn't wasted. And then sometimes I'll take lunch and do some work, or by 4:30 when I'm finished working the 9 to 5, right up until sometimes 12, 1 o'clock, I'm working. So yeah, that's how I do it. It just really depends on how much I got done in the morning. Or if I get a special call to say we need you to do a proposal for this, or we need this now, and my team is not available to sort it out, I definitely have to put a lot of fires out, but run up and down and stuff. But yeah, that's basically what my day looks like.
You see, to the average person who is not you, that sounds like a lot. But hearing how you speak about it, hearing how you
Yeah,
speak
like
about it,
okay, I'm just about
that's
to
like,
ask, how do you balance like your social life, your spiritual? Because none, as much as these things are all passions, they're not congruent with each other. Coding doesn't go with the Lord doesn't code. I mean, He does it all, but He doesn't code. So what I'm saying, so like like just how do you balance all of this? And I heard you said you're a car enthusiast, a car guy. You like cars because
Yeah,
all of us are too, and that's a
yeah.
whole nother world. That's a whole nother world of time and expense and so many things.
so
Yeah.
like you have 25 hour
Um,
days, man.
He has 28 hour
well,
days.
sorry, what's that?
So like you have 28 hour days.
Oh, no, I just do like what Arnold Schwarzenegger said. I just sleep faster. 4 hours and I'm good. I'm holding 4 hours a day and I'm good. Sometimes I get 8, sometimes I get 10. Like on weekends, I get to make up for it. Technically, that's not how sleep works, but
Yeah.
if I'm going to be honest, it's passion that's driving me right through every last bit of that. Social life, I don't get to go out as much now because of COVID, and my circle is really small. So maintaining friendships, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. I have to say that my family is very understanding when it comes to me and getting after my goals. My wife is
Yeah.
very understanding. When I wasn't married, my family would have been understanding. Now that I'm married, my wife is very understanding. We definitely try to make time to do stuff, watch movies, go out on date and stuff. But I
Yeah.
think one of the things that helps me to be productive as possible, is not multitasking. Switching from one task to another throws me off. And what I try to do is when I slot something for a specific time period, I try to maximize on that and make sure that I take breaks because It's not like uh,
May I several pins? Because we just said not multitasking. There are so many places in the world that tell people that the only way to win is by doing everything all at once. So you have to go into detail as to why it is good to be one track,
Not one check, but don't clue to yourself. So I'm understanding.
yeah,
right? Not to jumble or overlap things.
yeah,
You have the extremists where I turn here, I'm doing my taxes, I'm doing there the 95, and then over here you have your Mocha stuff, and right
yeah.
behind it you have, I don't know, some type of break video
Yeah, that would never
game.
work. You have to do one and it's all right, I put my all into this, I'm finished with this now. I'll put my all into this now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Totally.
Well, let me tell you, with multitasking, I try to study as much as possible what makes a person productive, and we aren't necessarily meant to do as much as we can in a single day. What makes us productive is setting clear goals, make sure they're measurable, smart goals. So I don't remember what smart stands for, but it's measurable, I think attainable, I don't remember what RT and S stand for, but in essence, when I'm setting my goals, I make sure it's stuff that I can get done. I make sure that in the period of time that I'm doing it for, I know that the conditions are right and
Mhm.
go after them. When I realize it's going to take more time than is necessary, sometimes I go over into other activities.
I
But
think consistency would be a big one for you as well. Just making sure that you're all on target.
I didn't hear that. Can you repeat that, please?
I was saying consistency would be a big one for you as well, making sure you're always on target because you won't get everything done in one day, but to
All
make
right.
sure the end objective is done is the main thing.
Yeah, yeah. So consistency is definitely a part of the whole equation. It's key. And but as I was saying about the multitasking, it's very important to focus on one task at a time because that's where you're most effective. And taking breaks effectively. I don't know if you guys know the
Yeah.
Pomodoro method. So I study these things like a lot. So
Any
Pomodoro.
books or articles that you have that are good pieces, feel free to send it to us so we
Yeah,
can let
or
people know.
recommend them here.
Like, recommend any literature you got. Like,
And
send
that's
the
what we're gonna ask you
library,
for some
send the address of
advice.
the library. We'll pull up.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Like, I can do that. I can definitely do that. I have a bunch of resources. But yeah, multitasking. It can be good. And there used to be this culture of get stuff done, hustle hard, and all of that stuff. I still believe you should go hard, but one step at a time. Because if you try to run with both feet going the same time, what happens? You wouldn't get anywhere. You'd just be jumping around, but running, you
So I
recognize.
guess we can say go hard responsibly.
Yes, sir. Go hard
Go
responsibly.
responsibly. Okay. That's our I'm going to write that on my on those bottles that keep those things.
Yeah.
I said, what, do all that you can do today and also do it well. You don't
Yeah.
try to do tomorrow's work today because you just that's how you get mixed up. That's how you get yourself all in a
And
twist.
the big part of it as well, sometimes your body will tell you that you're rushing something, and sometimes we as entrepreneurs, we don't listen.
Why?
And we say, no, we want to do it, we want to do it. Yeah, you take so long, so many years to build that mindset to not break down to the point where you're not even listening to yourself anymore.
So
So
Yeah.
you have to start. You have to actually, that's the main part about being a good business person is being able to step back, take note, take lessons, learn from people, learn from yourself, understand that, look, maybe you should take time with this. Maybe you should be more patient with this. Maybe you should give this more time. Allow it to formulate into what you want, that you can be satisfied with the end result.
Yeah.
sometimes we can
Yeah.
get stuck into work mode
Because
and
people
don't.
get too consumed with milestones instead of winning the war. They're so quick to
Mhm.
say, all right, I want to do this by this time, this by this time. Yeah, you accomplished all of those dates, but now you're lacking funding, your team is losing morale, you're not producing a good product, all sort of rubbish.
Passion might even be lost.
They call it diminishing returns. After a while,
Yes,
in the beginning you're
return.
good. After a while, you just all those things that you listed, they begin to fall apart.
So, Brian, what's your advice to the young entrepreneurs out there?
Um, you probably hear this a lot. Just get started. That's actually not my advice. I just got started and it didn't work too well. What I would say is have an idea of one, your passion, and two, where you want to see yourself in 5 years. I think I didn't get the opportunity to do this. I just went in and went hard. But starting out smart, starting out knowing, okay, so I want to have a clothing line. What are the leaders in this industry, the clothing line industry, doing locally, overseas, whatever? Study the greats. See
Yeah,
how they started. See, learn from their mistakes. Learn from their mistakes.
definitely, definitely.
Then get started. It's like you would never just walk into a test and get started, would you? You'd study for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's the and you see the thing is entrepreneurship is a test, you know. You get the reward at the end if you know what you're doing, but it's a test to see whether you're true to what you believe is your goal or your end goal. You know, if you say I want to, and it's not to sound superficial, but I really like Porsche, right? I like the R8 as well. But if my goal is to go in and to own one of those, and after a while I just said to myself, it's not worth it because I'm not seeing the returns I'm looking for. While
yeah,
that's not the end goal that people should be looking for, just using it as an example, every time I remember it, it should drive me to want to go back to the hustle, to the grind, to do what needs to be done to get the
yeah,
business going. So just staying focused it's a test. It's a test. Just business on a whole, it's a test. So being prepared for that test
You
is
hear that, guys? Stay in school, study.
yeah,
Don't waste your time outside. Be
yeah.
prepared. Never let the opportunity pass you by because they are very short in number and they're not giving them out to everybody.
No, they are not. No, they are
I
not. We
think
can't all be entrepreneurs.
I remember that when you say see yourself where you want to be, I think it all starts with the mind, where you put yourself in a certain mindset and then you start to move in a different way and you start to see things happening because it's one thing to dream and then if you don't follow it up with actions, where are you? So
Yeah,
you see yourself and then you start to behave in a certain way as to attain those goals and step by step you move closer.
yeah. And I said two things before I close. If I'm permitted, you guys can just let me know.
You know,
Uh,
you're good
Feel free.
okay, cool. So the vision will never stay the same. I remember when and I just got be candid about it. When I started in business a few months after my wife got me a test drive with the cane, right? Because I told you, yo, I love Porsche, right? And
True.
yeah, and I mean, I took it out. The videos are there. I had a lot of fun, and that's not where I want to see myself. Like just driving a nice fancy car and have a nice house on the hills and that kind of stuff. If I don't have any of those, because those things are fleeting. My impact to the world should be a shift in mindset. Like that's my end goal. I don't work these long hours to make a lot of money. I work these
Yeah.
long
I
hours
want
to
to change the industry. I want to leave a mark. I want to innovate something. I want it to be that I'm the reason they do this way now.
yeah. I also want to change the mindset about entrepreneurship. I suffered from self doubt. I'm extremely confident, but when it comes to new activities, like I might suffer from self doubt, and I look at the world and see so many people suffering from it. I want to take them along with into my journey. I mean, so many books are written and so on, but you see, if let's say um I don't know how to put this, but the population is 2 million. If you have like um maybe 500,000 persons being entrepreneurs, it's quite possible that for the 2 million that exist, everybody know at least one entrepreneur. And if everybody knows one entrepreneur, it means that they can see that starting from zero and going to 100 is possible.
Yeah.
I'm time because you won't know no two entrepreneur will be the same age and time. So if you have somebody who's 50, we don't need to get into the technicalities, but the point is
Yeah.
if you had more entrepreneurs, people would understand certain things are possible. My intention isn't to have 500 entrepreneurs, sorry, 500,000 out of 2 million. My intention is to create a movement, to help create a movement that one day you will have 500,000 out of 2 million. You get me? I want
Yeah.
Jamaica. I want when I move on from this life, people to say, yo, one thing about Brian is whether he had a lot of money or not, there's one thing he taught me that fear is sometimes an illusion. And we need to try to be our best self until the day we die. That's what I'm in it for. I mean, the products will reflect that. Every last inch of this business will reflect that. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't think, how can I improve? Because until I die, I want to keep improving.
That's the
Well,
best contribution you can
well,
make to
one thing I
That
society.
can
was the first
say,
point.
all the best on that movement. First thing, because that's gonna need a lot of energy. It's a good thing your company is called Mocha Traders. That energy that gonna need woolly for coffee. Because that to get everybody on board, because trust me, Jamaica is a very stubborn country. So you have to get everybody on board. That's gonna take a lot of effort. But we're with you on that journey. Trust me, we all are.
Great.
So
Or
we
Appreciate
try.
it.
We,
even if it's not entrepreneurship, in terms of your business mindset, to just lose that sense of fear in whatever it is that you do. Because okay, so if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, you can be the best doctor and lawyer that you want to be. You don't try and okay, the book says this, or people say not the book, not necessarily the book because doctor will follow book. All right, so people say this, people say that, and you don't really want to step out and be innovative or be a type of stand out in your industry in whatever it is that you do. You stay in your shell, you stay in your lane, and you just study it and try not to be seen. You don't necessarily
Yeah.
have to be a big star, but you just need to just your contribution to society is to be the best. The best contribution you can make to society is to be the best person that you can be. So if that's sort of the movement that I would want to preach to say, no matter what it is that you do, just try and do it to the best of your ability and to put it all into it. Because if you're there and you're half in it,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
around you will know.
Yeah. 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 And the last thing I was supposed to say is there was something else, but given the direction you guys are saying, the Bible talks about whatever your hands find to do here on earth, do it as unto God. I
yeah.
mean, it's a perspective that I like to share in whatever form I can, because sometimes people aren't open to hearing the gospel like that. But understanding that if you come and give just a percentage of what you're capable of, but then expect the rest of the world to give their best. You're being unfair. I think it's wrong to come and expect everybody to give you the best of their work, their ability. We should go and create the best cars for you to drive, but you want to come to work and just sit down and do half-hearted work and then
Oh my,
feel that
we're sparking
it,
something there.
Yeah, that's
Because
not fair.
that is so big around us because people are like, okay, if I'm not getting this energy, then I'm not going to move in that certain way. When people don't realize it's actually a paradox. When people
yeah,
say, okay, I don't have any friends. If you start being friendly, you will get
yeah,
friends. Instead of, oh, I don't have any friends, you're looking around and you're frustrated. I don't have any friends, you're just being a grinch, you're being grumpy. If you just, you have to change. It's easier to change yourself than people around you, because if you start uplifting yourself and moving in a way where friends can actually surround you now, all of a sudden you get those friends. So when you're saying that, oh gosh,
That goes back to the first thing
yeah,
Brian said when him first started talk was that integrity is the main thing. Be yourself when nobody's looking. You're supposed
yeah,
to can do whatever
yeah,
it is, regardless of what is going on. So it shouldn't be that you have to depend on outlying energy to do anything. All of your passion is within yourself. You even said that you can't change. You can't. It's easier to change yourself. You can't change people. And them
that's
have
it.
to want
That
change.
same
Them have
movement that
think
Brian,
what you would do and say them are go want change. You can't change them.
same
yeah,
So
movement that Brian is
so
that. Oh, sorry, finish. Sorry, my bad.
yeah, man. But that's all in line with the principles that we're trying to follow as regards entrepreneurship and just
yeah,
being faithful to your cause.
yeah.
Well,
It's definitely true because you said nobody is watching, but God is, and that's why I said do as unto whatever your hands find to do, do it as
Do as
unto God.
unto God.
Because He's definitely watching when no one else is.
man,
Definitely.
this has been some really powerful stuff here, guys. So before we leave, I want to plug Mocha. I want to say big up to Mocha first of all, and then I want to plug them and let people know how can they reach you, how can they get in contact with you?
Yes, because I actually
Instructions.
have some students in that wouldn't mind knowing you. Wouldn't mind knowing your structure at all. Let's yes.
Yeah.
Provide us with information.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. So we're on Instagram. Mocha Coders. That's our handle at Mocha Coders. Uh,
Okay.
Facebook Mocha Coders same way. LinkedIn Mocha Coders. You can go to our website mochacoders.com. I can be reached 461-8426. We have, well, we have a number of persons that you can speak to at Mocha, but to get put onto our administrative assistant, you go to our website or you may email connect@mochacoders.com.
So that's the
Um,
website.
yeah, the website is no, the website is mochacoders.com.
Yeah.
The administrative assistant's email is connect@mochacoders.com, but that's also found on the website.
Okay, guys. Whoa. Listen.
And that's a keynote for all the entrepreneurs as well. Your name needs to be catchy and everywhere.
Put yourself
You
out
can't
there.
expect your business to win if everybody can't access it. You see how many all types. Listen to me. Get your stuff up.
LinkedIn, email, socials.
Everything.
I think people sleep on Facebook, just a little bit. They don't know the power
People
of
sleep on
Facebook.
Facebook. They don't understand Facebook makes too much money off of marketing right now. So people
Yeah.
are on Facebook. They think Facebook is lost. It's just lost to the millennials.
Guys, this has been such a gem-filled episode where we learn the importance of failure, importance of passion, and
Consistency,
so many little nuggets in this episode. We know that
integrity.
whatever it is that
Like
you do,
right now, this man is a preacher. Him past finance marketing director. Who passed businessman? No, this is gospel.
so guys, listen, take heed of what you've heard in this episode because we preach it a lot in terms of being the best that you can be and doing whatever it is that you want to do to the best of your ability. So we want you to take all the gems that you've heard in this episode and put it into practice because it's one thing to hear and then put down and listen and you go back and live. So when you listen to this, just start an action that you cannot undo. Because the thing with motivation is people want to say, oh, I'll get motivated before I do it. No, you start first and then you actually get motivation to finish it. That's how it works.
Uh,
So whatever it is, you start it now. I don't know what it is that you want to do. Whatever business you want to start, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't.
don't wait. And
Damn
one
the
thing I
feed.
can say to those who may be confused, like stop worrying about what is making money. Work on making what
Passion.
you like make money.
Yeah. how can you market your passion?
How
Because
can you make what you like make money? Don't worry about what makes money. Make what you like make money. So when you fix that, everything in life will make sense.
because Brian saw a problem and he created the solution in terms of being a transparent vessel in the web development industry and
Exactly. Working with customers, being transparent with them, accommodating extra needs if needs be. A lot of
last thing
Jamaican companies don't do that. We need to start making that common. Take care of exceptional cases. Stop leaving people hanging.
Yeah.
last thing we leave you guys is you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if you don't do it, people say X. If you do it, people say Y. So stay true to yourself and do what it is that you want to do and make sure that it is right. And yeah, so peace. You want to say thanks to Brian?
I publicly want to say what you guys do now. It's really cool. I really like it. Keep educating the entrepreneurs, keep educating the nation. And I just really like it. And thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, man, big
It was a pleasure. And all the best in the going forward with Mocha and every other venture because I'm sure this won't be the last. I'll see you in your 911 in my 911.